Golden rule of thumb is no more than 8 one-on-ones. That was the limit that I found.
Yep.
Because you think about 8 one-on-ones, that's 8 hours. That's a day a month. You got to prepare, you got to close out. Like there's a bit to it. So no more than 8. You're always connected. You're always sharing. Everyone always feels like they've got a part to play in the business.
It's not that you don't care. It's that, bro, you've got 1,000
going
things going on.
People within the business are genuinely building the business. And that becomes your recruitment model. This is my vision. Come work for me because you'll be part of it.
Yeah, I drink in the middle. You're like, mate, part 2, keeping the energy high from part 1. Obviously now I wanted to take the opportunity to dive a little bit more into what you're doing now. We've sort of covered where you were previously and how you got here. Strategy and scale. It must be the keyword search at the point of time that I was that we crossed paths.
Yeah.
I reckon I punched those things into Google about 100 times just trying to go, fuck, someone help me. So a bit of backstory about how we met. I'll lay the foundation. Just randomly speaking with a mutual friend of ours. So Lyndon, God bless his soul, is a good human.
Yeah.
We've been working with their business for a couple of years now. And I was actually in the lineup for school and we're chatting about a job that he's got coming up. And then almost like an autistic spasm, he's like, I've got a mate. And I'm like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, my mate Ash, he's just started this thing called Strategy and Scale. And I was like, oh yeah, what's that? Is that the time I'd gone through, you just hit that cap, the ceiling of the business, man, where I was like, like I told you before, I'd written that thing down. I couldn't really get behind it because it didn't have feeling. Like I'd had my 20 million. I was searching for mentor, business coach, something. You know, you're out in the wilderness as a business owner going, look, I'm doing this by myself. Like this isn't the way to do it. I need to search for something. So I went and looked at advisory boards to try and get around other like-minded business owners. And I feel like that's got a really good place, but it just wasn't what I was after. I really wanted someone, a big brother, you know what I mean, to rip in and go like, oh, you come in, this is how we've done it.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to cut through the bullshit.
Yeah.
And he introduced us and I thought, man, that's always a good sign. We talked about the universe in the last part. It's always a healthy sign when you've got someone that you value of their opinion giving you a recommendation. So he's like, mate, give Ash a call. He's running a business called Strategy and Scale. Have a chat to him. And I reached out and obviously we started talking and you were pitching me the course and I was like skeptical hippo eyes a little bit. So I was like, mate, okay, cool. We sort of had a conversation. The energy was there. I liked the sound of where it was going. And obviously you were talking about that and your one-to-one coaching. I was like, yeah, give me the one-to-one. They're like, nah, whoa up there, little boy. And so it sort of got to the point where I was like, fuck, I like the sound of what he's talking about. I want to work with him. And the option for me was Built for Impact.
Yep.
Mate, we'll get into the weeds of it a little bit, but lead us into what made you decide to pull the ripcord and start the business.
Well, look, as we spoke about when we were relocating to the coast and we'd made that decision, it was like, okay, am I realistically going to be able to travel and stay in the role that I was in, which was running the business?
Oh, so you'd made the move before?
Look, we hadn't made the move yet, but, you know, in my mind I was like, yeah, we're going to be on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like, can I maintain what I need to be doing whilst traveling? And the answer became a no.
Anyone that sat on the springboard
you know, it's like,
section of the highway.
Yeah, it's like, it's not going to happen. So then I started thinking, okay, like what can I do? Oh, this is pretty weird. I'm definitely, in my mind, it was like, I'm definitely not starting again. I'm not gonna create another building company.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go and work for someone. I've done it. That's it. You know, like I've created a business. I've grown it. Like I'm out. It's not going to happen. So then it was like, okay, I just started, you know, what's funny? I just started talking to a few subcontractors that we had, you know, I'd been using forever.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, they're sort of like, oh, well, what are you going to do next? I wouldn't mind some help. Like, can you come and give us some advice? Can you know? And I was like, oh yeah, there might be something in this. But of course, right. As a guy who's always been, you know, I've never been one to self-promote, right? Like even in the business, we were always quite like a quiet business. You know, our theory is be the bamboo that grows underneath the ground. Like it was very self-promotion isn't a big thing. So, you know, it was a bit weird, like turning up to people like in February, March going, hey, you know, this is what I could do. This is what it could look like. And what I actually did was I joined up with a number of businesses. So I've got six, 7 businesses that I do a 12-month, I guess, partnership with. And that involves mentoring the business owners, running their leadership teams, and running all their strategy workshops. So I do that for 12 months with each of these businesses. So that's where I started. Was I was like, okay, there's these businesses that I know that I respect. I'm gonna team up with them and see if I can help them. And you know, as time goes by, it's like, you know what? Like I've got something to give here. Like, you know, this is because you sort of sit in a world where honestly, in the last 10 years, I thought it was pretty normal what we were doing. I thought everyone was doing what we were doing.
Well, it's not.
You know, and I've since discovered that you know, it's not normal. And particularly in construction, there's a lot of people who are just having a crack, and that's what they're doing. They're just having a crack. And there's no structure, there's no plan, there's no nothing. And so I partnered with these businesses early on, so early in the year. But then I got to a point where I was sort of like a bit capped out because it's all one-on-one time, right? But I was like, but there's more here. Like there's more to give. And that's where I thought, you know what, like maybe I can create a group program. And that's where the Built for Impact came from. It was like, okay, I've got the business part, which the business part is very hands-on. It's quite strategic. It's very like you are bolting into their businesses. But the group program, all of a sudden you can bring together a community and help people connect and go on the journey together, which is like, there's a whole nother level of fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
So I did a pilot program in May where I basically just rung all these people that I had half an idea would go, yeah, I'll do it, because they knew me, right?
Yeah.
So I've rung them all. I'm like pitching like mad that, hey, like I'll do it half price, I'll do this, I'll do that, whatever. I'll give you credit, just refer other people.
Full pyramid scheme.
Yeah. So shoved them in, you know, got 10 people in the first group. And just came up with a bit of a criteria, like a bit of a program over the 12 weeks, and thought, hey, this will work. And you know what? Like it did. Like it was pretty cool. But then, you know, it was like, there could be some improvements here. So in the second round, I made some improvements. Third round, I've made even more improvements. And then where I'm now going with it is I'm now converting it into a community model, like a proper community model next year. So launching in February, it'll be just an ongoing community. So you can come into, so ours was a 12-week sprint, right? Yeah. And the feedback that I've pretty well got from everyone is 12 weeks is like, it's a flash in the pan. It's like in out. It's
right. It felt right.
And everyone wants more, you know, and unfortunately everyone wants one-on-ones, which is what, you know, you came to me with. Yeah. But the community model, which basically is like a weekly group call every Monday, and then like an actual community where there's going to be resources, there's going to be modules, there's going to be access to me. Yeah. So the thing is, and look, we got here in our conversation, but everyone comes to me wanting one-on-ones, and what that looks like is like a monthly thing, right? So the way of looking at it is you can wait for once a month to speak to me for an hour, or you can be in the community where every week we're connecting, plus you get all the modules. So you're like supersizing how quickly you're getting all the information.
Yeah. And I feel like, speaking from on the inside of it, when we were doing the WhatsApp and whatever, that community and the 10 other guys that were in there, like you didn't necessarily have to be there. Like you were chiming in, yeah, good job. But like to dive in and to be able to self motivate with the others. Like when you would see one of the other boys chuck in that they'd done their commitments, everyone would be like, yeah, fuck yeah, you killed it. Yeah. That I think it does add so much more layers. Plus it's scalable.
Yeah, totally.
Like there's only what you can't cut yourself up into being 1,000 places at once. But as long as you don't cut off the full one-on-ones till I'm in there, but everyone else can have the community. But speak to me about Built for Impact. So I being on the inside, I can attest to how it worked for me. You mentioned the first one was a bit of a throw together. You'd had a concept, right, of what what worked in the construction business, and then obviously a distilled version for this rapid fire program. How did you come up with that system and that framework?
Look, at the end of the day, what I've tried to create is a framework that you can bolt into any business.
Yeah.
You know, it's plug and play. It doesn't matter if you've got 3 people you're turning over $500,000 or you've got 100 people you're turning over 100 million. It works. And it's not just construction businesses, as we spoke about. It could be anyone. So I've created that framework, and the reality is through the Built for Impact program, you get exposed to that full framework. You get all the templates, you get all the systems, you get the whole lot.
Everyone, bro, this is the thing that I found, right? Is so I'd fall down the funnels of all the gurus. And they're like, we've got a system. We've got a framework. It's all like, and it seems all shit. Speak to me about the first part of the framework, right? So for instance, like we did the course, you did the first one-on-one as part of the Built for Impact. Obviously you intro, it's a Zoom, get a bit of a feeling for who the person is on the other side that's coming into the course. And then group call 1, right? We sit there and you give us the first lot of homework, and it's about SWOTs and feeling strengths, weaknesses. And then you asked us to go out and fucking get all these rude shocks by asking our wives what she thought our weaknesses were. What's the intention of identifying those weaknesses and strengths? Like, well, how does that play into this 5-year vision?
You can't build a strategy or a business on bullshit. So we live in this world where we believe what's going on in our head is truth. You know, our business is great. Like
my ChatGPT tells me I'm a legend,
awesome.
bro.
Our culture's awesome. I'm really accountable. I turn up for people. So the first exercise always is getting feedback. So as much feedback as you can.
Why? To maybe shine a light on some of the areas that you maybe should put in your...
Correct. So what we're looking for is, what we do is we do a SWOT analysis on the business. So I'll start with the high level is that there's 5 levers in a construction business.
Yeah.
And the levers are what you can pull or push to be either successful or not. To me, they're pre-construction, project delivery, people and culture, ops, systems, process, safety, quality, risk. They're the 5 levers. Now, for each business, they can sometimes change. So, you can mold them into to suit your business. But
especially outside of construction.
Yeah, so outside of construction, at the moment, crazily enough, I've got a guy in Built for Impact who owns 3 pool stores.
Right.
So he used to work for me in my business, and now he's gone and bought 3 pool store franchises, and he is in the Built for Impact program applying this exact same formula to his business.
Cool.
So what he's done is he's just changed those levers to suit what his model looks like.
Yeah, so they're flexible.
They're fully flexible. So the first thing is you've got to identify the 5 levers. So what are you pushing and pulling to make your business either successful or not? And then what you're doing is you're asking your team to do a SWOT analysis on those 5 levers. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats.
Yep.
Now, the best way to do this is you do a workshop. So you bring everyone in the room, you run a workshop where you've got all the levers around the room. Everyone writes on the Post-it notes, and you just fill up the walls, right? And typically, what happens is there'll be a theme, And what you're looking at, strengths are great. Like strengths are just good to read and go, yeah, sweet, that's nice to know. But what we're looking for is weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. They're the areas we're focusing on, because those are the areas that you're going to build your strategic plan from, right? And when you do that process, and all of a sudden you've got 6 people in the room saying the exact same thing as a weakness, chances are it should be part of your strategy to fix that weakness. Right. So that's how it works. Is the first step is getting the feedback. So you
said strategy there. So it doesn't fall into your 5-year vision, but it'll fall into that 12-month strategic side,
Correct.
which comes from the 5-year vision.
Yeah.
Right. So the vision is more about lining up the GPS waypoint that you want the business, how you want to feel, how you want to act, how you want to look. First, and then you're talking about those SWOTs tying into that 12-month strategic plan inside of those 5 levers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how I would run the workshop, and a lot of businesses will bring me in to run the workshop. So how I do it is I'll get the business owner to get up and speak to the story. So how do we get to here? and deep dive like that, like go all the way back. And I think, you did that with your business, which was awesome.
Yeah.
What you're doing there is like you're creating that human touch, like, and the story, like people are connecting to that story and they're going, wow, like this didn't just happen. Like this has been years of ups and downs. And then you're flicking from the story into the vision. So this is how we got to here. And this is now where we're going. This is what it's going to look like in 5 years, right? So that's what you're delivering. The next piece is you're individually addressing every single person in that room as to why they're there. And this is the piece around tying in the team into the vision. So, like it might be something along the lines of, you've been with me for 3 years, Bill, and, I know that you're going to take us to this seat. Like this is, you are strapping in on the bus. And you're showing everyone in that sort of speech that you're delivering, it'd be a bit more than that, which piece of the puzzle they are in that 5-year vision.
That was fun.
Yeah. And people would have loved it.
Yeah.
Like the feedback always.
I felt
huge.
like an NFL coach on Super Bowl day.
Yeah.
It was good.
And as you know, like doing that process there's probably an hour. By the time you do your story, your vision, and connect everyone into it, it's about an hour. And it's a really important part of the strategic planning process that a lot of people just miss. So that's how you set the day up. Then you go into the SWOT analysis.
Yep.
So you're doing the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats on each of the levers.
Yep.
The next step from there is that you're assigning a strategy, and this is the critical part. You're assigning a strategy owner to each lever. So you've got your 5 levers. They ultimately become your 5 strategies.
Yep.
So you'll have 5 strategies for your 12-month strategic plan, and there'll be a strategy per lever. So you'll have one for pre-construction, one for project delivery, one for people and culture, ops systems, process, safety, quality, risk. What you're then doing is you're assigning a strategy owner. So there'll be 5 people in the room, which you're saying, hey, I'm handing you the responsibility of creating the strategy for this lever.
I think that's the part that I missed, right? Was just as you touch on that, we had the description field.
Yep.
And so like that strategy now, I'm going to build that out into be like what that is for that particular lever.
Yep.
So for people and culture, a description of what those KPIs are moving towards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't have, okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
So you're assigning a strategy owner.
Yeah.
And the whole process here, and what we're trying to do is in 3 years' time, you want people to be trying to poach your staff, and they're laughing at them because they're going, no way, I built this business, why would I leave?
Yeah.
Right? And that's the whole purpose behind you're assigning strategy owners, and they're the ones that are building the strategic plan, not you. You've just set the vision. You're just facilitating. That's all your role is.
Well,
as
it does
owner.
2 things, hey. Like one, it does that, but what I've found is that level of buy-in.
Oh, it's huge.
Like they're like, oh, what, I can be a part of this? And like you've told them why they're there.
Yeah.
And so like why you think that they're the team to do it.
Yep.
And then giving them that responsibility, that's where I think that energetic boost has come from with that employee we spoke about before.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to do it.
Not
that, you know what I mean? Like not that but I think that's a valid point to make is because the overwhelming sense of like when you get to that point of like, oh yeah, I want the vision to 45X.
Yeah.
How the fuck am I going to do it? That is that.
Good on doing it.
Yeah. And you're giving, I think the part that you mentioned inside the course was even if you set your 2 or 3 commitments for the month, and even if you hit one of them, you've got 4 or 5 people across the business that have done 5 things that have punched the business to the next step.
Yeah.
And so regardless of if you fuck them all up and you have 1 month where you do nothing, the next month you come back and you're constantly taking steps forward. And I think that was what was so key in the unlock for me was once I got through, it took this sense of like where was I going before? Like there's a wall, boom, there's a wall. And like having that one focus point and then being able to feel that freedom of I'm not completely responsible for it, but I can be the hype beast. Like I'll fucking get pom-poms, bro. Like I can spark you up. But if you can do the action and then someone's getting that reward, it just unlocked a little thought then of like, I think the part that has helped that one specific employee get that energy boost is that feeling of accountability for something and part of something as opposed to a timesheet punch.
Totally.
You've seen that?
100%. So yeah, a lot of people will get bored in their roles, right? Because it's just day in, day out. But all of a sudden you tell them to be responsible for a 12-month strategy. It's like a whole different ballgame.
And I think when you look around the landscape of your current business and you think to yourself, oh, Jan, Bob and Michael, there's no fucking way they're going to be able to do this because my vision is here. And it's important that you give them the opportunity.
Yeah. You got to give them the crack. And this is, again, a lot of people make the mistake here is they're like, they couldn't be a strategy owner of pre-construction. They know nothing about it. The reality is that the strategy owner is just the person responsible to move the strategy forward. They don't need to be the expert, but they need to find the expert and then they need to make those things happen. Absolutely. But you've got to give it a crack.
Yeah.
You got to let people have a go.
Yeah.
So you assign the strategy owners, right? And then in the workshop, you get them to then give them an hour and a half to look at the SWOTs. And then from the SWOT feedback, start writing strategies for the 12-month strategic plan.
Yeah.
So you get everyone to break away in the groups of the 5 levers with a strategy owner for each lever.
Yep.
And then at the end of the day, you get everyone to come in and do a presentation of their draft strategy. So again, this is the accountability and empowerment piece.
Yeah.
That, Joe will come in and he'll present his 70% complete strategy for pre-construction or whatever lever he's doing.
Yeah.
And then the whole group gets to give feedback, add in things or not. Where you take it after that is you give everyone a month to go away and finish their strategies, and then you get back in a room in a month's time and you deliver the final versions. Right. Add them all together. That's your strategic plan with the 5-year vision.
Right. We went a little different. Probably just me going ball at a gate in the wrong direction. But what we did was obviously everyone was like, oh, fuck, I already do 40 hours a week. Like how am I think an important part was the rocks and sand concept.
Yeah.
So being able to identify where like your time is spent, and Dan Martell talks about it. There's heaps of resources out there about importance, urgency, and being able to not make someone feel overwhelmed when they get that strategy because it's moving towards, they get this uplift of energy and then they go back into their desk and they're like, the fuck am I supposed to find time to do that? So what we did from there was did that big bucket of rocks and sand and we got them to identify what they should be doing, what they shouldn't, or what they thought they should be doing. And then we all teamed up and we were like, nah, rock, sand. And then we just bucketed it down to the next person. So we created that space first before we then
which is
backed
awesome.
a dump truck on it. So I think from that first leadership workshop, it was important for them to then, 1, understand what their rocks and sand were, but then 2, have like a structure of what their week looked like. So that they could implement the strategy. Yeah,
totally. And what I've gone to in this last program is that the guys that have site-based strategy owners, what we've done is we've created a structure for them that every like Wednesday at 2:00, all the site-based strategy owners come into the office and everyone spends an hour working on their strategy. Because that's that's the other difficulty is that for strategy owners that are site-based, it's very hard for them to flick into, now I'm going to go and work on my strategy once a month.
Oh, you're going to meet pie to the head. If you tell the boys you're going to bail on them to go to the ute because you've got a strategy to work on, you're going to get a can of mother straight to the face.
Yeah. So creating that structure where those people come into the office for a certain amount of time every week or whatever, every fortnight is critical. But
I like that.
But basically, you run the workshop. From there is like we spoke about consistency before. You're then rolling into this monthly rhythm, right? And you've got a KPI tracker where you put all the KPIs from the strategic plan onto a spreadsheet, and it's a red, yellow, green traffic light system.
Yep.
And every month you get together, you review the KPI tracker, which basically like if your revenue goal for the month is $1 million and you turn over 800, it's probably yellow. If it's 500, it's red. If it's 1.2, it's green.
Yeah.
Right. And you'll have a full list of all your KPIs and all the data for each of your KPIs. And it's going to be red, yellow, or green, right? And typically what happens is at the start of the year, it's red and yellow. And then you're chasing the year until you get to green, right? But this is about consistency and group effort. So what happens here in reality and what you're looking for is, let's just say 3 strategy owners are really succeeding and they get to green pretty quickly, but there's 2 strategy owners that are stuck in red. Well, what should be happening is the whole team should be helping the 2 red strategy owners move the needle.
Right.
Because it might be that they're stuck or they need help or whatever it is. And that's where, as a strategy group monthly, you guys need to be looking at, like we're absolutely braining pre-construction. Okay, cool. Well, maybe we can, redivert some energy to this systems and processes one, which we're really failing at.
It ties back into drifting, right? So like
100%.
you set on the course the commitment side, and it was like little nuggets were unveiled to us along the way. Like you had us on the first little group call. It was like, all right, 48 hours, get some commitments. And I've spoken about this before, where it's like everyone's like, I'm going to run a fucking marathon this week. And so we all put these things in, and it was 3 commitments. And then you made us, the next group call was the accountability side.
Yeah.
So I was put up, which I think the red, amber, green speaks to too as well, right? So if you've got a strategy and you keep coming in reds, you're going to be like, well, one, something's fucking up, or I'm not allocating time, or I don't have the resources, blah, blah, blah. But that consistency side of I've made the commitment and like we saw it. The most success I had was if I put 5 minutes a day into it.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to cram at the 2 weeks. I was like, shit, the group calls tomorrow. Because I tried that once and it just,
night before homework.
Yeah. So having that level of, like you said, consistency is wild.
Yeah.
Fundamental thing that people should think about is it doesn't take massive efforts and then you get over it because you've just exhausted yourself.
Yep.
It is literally just tiny little baby steps. And it seems cliche, but it was another key unlock for me was like, bro, just give it a focus time.
Yeah.
Make it a priority.
Yeah.
Put it in like the gym, like walking, like whatever you want to do, but show up for yourself and lead by example through that consistency. Because I think that's what accountability is.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing to think about here is if you've got 5 people, so 5 levers, running your strategic plan for the year, and every month, and we've done this system and you spoke about this before, is every month you get everyone to make 3 commitments. What are they going to do for the next month? So what happens is at the end of every monthly meeting is you've got 5 strategy owners times 3 commitments. You've got 15 like reasonably solid commitments on the wall as to what's going to happen in the business for the next month. And this is what highlights the difference between you as a business owner trying to do this on your own or sharing the load into a strategic plan where you've got 5 people responsible for it. Yeah. It's like a person who can do 3 commitments versus a team that can do 15. Yeah. Like it's drastically different.
Way different.
And the theory is that like 3 things in a month, that's not even 1 a week. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing. You stack that up. So 15 times 12 months. I'm not good at math.
Nah, neither, bro. I'm a scaffolder.
But what is it? 180, I think.
We'll just leave that to the AI. Yeah.
So the reality is if you have that many actions in your business for 12 months that are chunky strategic things, you add that up over 12 months and that is like gigantic.
That's what the refreshing part was, right? Was like, and I mean, like we talked about, even if you don't hit all 3 and you've hit 2 or someone might hit 4 and an overachiever, because it is based on where you want to go, it's moving so much further. Like I've found myself just having this notebooks, fucking to-do lists on Outlook of just all these things, Miro boards of ideas that I want. Bing, 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 bing. And they're about 1,005% completed things.
Yeah.
So putting it all down paper, handing that off to the team and those 5 levers with the KPIs sat underneath them, which are obviously ways of being able to measure whether or not you're working towards it. Yep. And then below the line of the actions that are going to be measured as part of those KPIs is the recipe. Yeah. And then giving it off to people to be able to go and then the follow-up and the accountability side of things, I think is the overarching framework of what the Built 100%. For Impact course is. And it's, one of the reasons why now it's like, bro, it's energizing.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh yeah, cool. Now you can come in and be the hype man. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
your role
yeah,
now.
you're not overwhelmed by being Atlas, by carrying the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
world on your shoulders,
Totally.
for trying to move your business because you've lined up people with where you want to go.
Yeah.
And I think I was a little bit probably nervous about it because you're like, fuck. You have that thought in your head of like, why are people going to want to give a shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To help me. But
Yeah.
that's just a thought.
Yeah. It's
Like
just
step
your
past
story.
it.
Yeah.
Step the fuck past it and push yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone
wants to be part of something, right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you're doing is you're inviting them to be part of the journey.
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, how are we come on board? How are we going to do this?
Yeah.
And then they take ownership of it. And this is the thing is what I said before is if you stack up year on year of this exercise, you go from like someone doing like the team doing 180 actions or commitments and then stack it year on year on year. Like that is where you get momentum. And that's where, as I said before, you get people who genuinely feel like they built the business, you know, so they're not going anywhere. And in a world, particularly for us, where in our market, where we've got the Olympics coming and the work's going to be there, the only people that are going to prosper are the people that can hold their staff.
Yeah.
This is the model. Like if you believe that in 5 years' time when the construction's going ballistic in Brisbane, that you'll be able to hold your staff because of your checkbook, like you're mad. You're mad.
Yeah.
I spoke to a recruiter 2 weeks ago. He had 69 current applications he was working on. 69.
So from businesses trying to find someone.
Trying to fill roles. 69 of them.
Yeah. And I think it's important to add context to that too, right? So there's in construction, there's obviously tier 1, there's tier 2, there's tier 3, and same in the subcontractor model.
Yep.
So you've got EBA trades, which are out there, bro, you do fuck all, you get the most amount of money, you get all the money, like your Scrooge McDuck money to do nothing.
Yeah.
So like to keep people from that is tough just straight from the get-go.
Huge.
The only differentiator is the way that someone feels when they strap on your logo.
Yep.
Is like, does the boss know their name? Does the boss after 6 years know your kid's name? So like it helps fundamentally through so many different parts of your business because I'm having the one-on-ones with whatever the guys directly below me. I'm building out that rapport because we're speaking once a month, focused. No one else is in the room, just me and them talking shit about stuff that like at the start, right, you made mention of it, is like if you've got 5 people that you have, I write them down in the back of my diary. And then at the end of the first one-on-one, I just wrote down a couple of little things that we spoke about to then go back in.
Yep.
Because like we all, it's not that you don't care. It's that, bro, you've got 1,000 things going on.
Yeah.
So to be able to make that differentiator your business of having something that's different that you speak about, it offsets money.
Yeah.
We've got people that could jump tomorrow just as a scaffolder and go and get $20 an hour more.
Yeah.
But because that energy is something that you can't really see on the balance sheet, but it's fucking tangible.
Yeah.
I think, and if it's not just one person, if you've managed to line up those other 5 people, it's infectious.
Yep.
So
and that's what you're trying to create is you're trying to create that environment where people within the business are genuinely building the business. You know, and that becomes your recruitment model is, hey, this is my vision. Come work for me because you'll be part of it. This is what you will be doing.
Yeah.
You'll be part of the journey. You'll come to the strategy workshops. You'll
build
out
important
the strategies.
too. Yeah,
it's
is
huge.
to be able to build that out as part of those recruitment models to be able to attract staff.
I don't want to sound this might sound a bit arrogant, but when we went through the recruiting process in our business, I would always come into the final interview, and if I wanted
you like the final one,
it was always like my conversation was always, this is the vision, this is where we came from, this is how you're going to play, this is how you're going to piece into the puzzle, and I was always pretty confident that I could convert in that final session. I'm pretty sure we did most of the time because it was like, You're giving them purpose. You're telling them, hey, this is where we're going, and we're so sure of it. You know, like we absolutely know it's going to happen, and this is how you're going to be a part of that.
Yeah, I think that's important to roll into your onboarding.
Yeah, it's
for
huge.
sure.
You know, and you compare that to an interview that someone's just been to, where they're like, you know, the business is going, oh yeah, this is your role. This is what you're going to be measured on. This is what you should be doing. It's like,
it's flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other piece, and we've spoken about this already, is the one-on-ones, right? So you create this strategy, you create the strategy owners. They're off now delivering the strategy, right? You've set up a monthly rhythm where you're coming together as a group, you're reviewing the strategy, you're reviewing the KPIs, and it starts happening, right? And as you say, you know, you'll get commitments early and, you know, they're just wrong, and you'll eventually find a good level, right? And you get into a rhythm. But what's important as the business owner is you've got to have the one-on-one system that sits around this to support it, right? And, you know, again, people get really confused as to what a good one-on-one is.
Yeah.
You know? And people think that a one-on-one is grabbing a coffee with someone and going, how you going, mate? How are you?
Take us through it. Take us through the...
So a good one-on-one is creating connection to start with. And again, that's where we laughed about, you know, you've had an employee, they've got 3 kids, they've been with you for 6 years, you don't know their names, right? So you're actually creating genuine connection, and you're actually understanding them as a person, what makes them tick, what's going on at home, all that sort of stuff, right? And so every one-on-one, you're starting with that, you know, and you're using names. Again, my pet hate for like people who would work with me when they're going to do a one-on-one is they'll like, oh, how's your wife? How's your husband? How's your kids? It's like, just use their name. Like, learn their name.
It seems trivial, bro, but it's
so
wild difference. Eh?
Yeah. So how's Mary? Right. And if you get, and you know, whatever you do, don't get the name wrong, but if you get it right,
write it down.
Like people just like go, oh, like this person actually cares about me.
Yeah.
You know, and then you remember the kids' names, you remember what school they go to. Like that connection piece is so huge. That trust piece is massive. You're building trust, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first part of the one-on-one always is, you know, how you're going, you're connecting with them, getting trust and connection. Then you move into the performance part, which is ultimately the KPIs.
Yep.
We've spoken about before hiring people and just creating these KPIs for a role.
Yep.
There's a completely different way of doing it, which is you've created the business plan, you've created the KPIs in the business plan. Every role has to link to those KPIs. So a classic one in construction is, as a site manager, in the business plan in safety, quality, risk, you would have some key metrics around incident rates, defect rates, that sort of stuff. In project delivery, you'd have some key KPIs around program delivery, profitability, those sorts of things. They're the things that link straight into a site manager's role that you've got to be really clear about in their KPIs, in their role. So in the one-on-one, you would be reviewing essentially those KPIs. Now, once you get into a rhythm with someone, they will know the things that you're always looking for. So, you know, like, and again, site manager role, really easy. Are you on program? Is the client happy? Has there been any incidents? How are you going with quality? Like, it's very straightforward.
So can someone, just on that, just to build out a bit more context, you have that one person can be responsible for a strategy.
Yep.
Not multiple. So they can be...
Has to be one person.
Yep.
Yep.
But then say if you end up having 50 staff and you've got 10 site managers, can their KPIs come across a couple of different of those strategies?
Yep.
So when you're building out, so when you're building out someone's role description, you've got your bucket full of KPIs that you can draw from, that you feel that.
100%.
Okay.
100%. And, you know, the example we spoke about before was that you can't have a 100 million turnover target in your business plan KPI and then have 5 project managers that their KPI is 10 million turnover.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. The numbers don't work, right? So that's where you've got to make sure that they feed into each other. So that forms your KPIs for the role. So when you turn up to the one-on-one, you're hammering those KPIs in a good way, like in a understanding and inquisitive way. And then so you're understanding, you know, where are they at with those KPIs? And you don't need to be as abrupt as, oh, let's review your KPIs. It's just asking questions like, how are you going on program? How's the client? How are the subbies? How's the quality looking? Right. So it's you know, it's a conversational way of doing things. But then you're moving into feedback. So it's for me, the feedback system I've always used is what I loved last month, what I want to see more of next month. So once you go through those KPIs, you'll see, okay, what I loved was you're staying on top of the program, client's really happy. But what I want to see more of next month is that the site is looking immaculate because I think it needs a bit of a tidy up or whatever, right? That's the feedback system. So what I loved, what I want to see more of. If you're doing this monthly, it's a really easy feedback system because it's like last month, next month.
Yeah, it's a 4-week window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what you do from there is you're asking them to give you 3 commitments. So we go back to the old 3 commitment setup. So based on the feedback, what do you reckon are 3 things you could do this month to, turn these things around, whatever it may be?
Yeah.
And you get those 3 commitments, you write them back in your diary, right? You've got to track them because what happens when you go to your next one-on-one is the first thing you ask before you give feedback is how you're going on the 3 things that you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
And what that's doing is creating accountability because a lot of people will go, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then everyone just forgets about it, but you're not going to because it's in your diary.
Yeah.
So they'll initially be shocked for the first few one-on-ones because you'll be like, hey, you said you were going to do that. Here it is. You haven't done it because you forgot about it as soon as I left.
Yeah.
You'll eventually train them that they've got to write those things down and start.
Right. So I
working.
got confused with the commitments were based around the action items. So I made them pick 3 of the action items underneath the strategy that they were responsible for.
Yeah. So if you're doing this with a strategy owner, absolutely you could do that.
Right.
But if it's someone who's unrelated to the specific strategy,
Okay.
it'd be commitments around feedback and KPIs.
Right. So because I'm in that first layer
Yep.
and then going down to the strategy owners,
Yep.
that their commitments are going to be based
Probably.
around the action items that there is. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So you get the commitments. So that's the accountability piece. So we've gone trust, we've gone performance. We've gone feedback, we've gone commitments. The next piece is the vision. So you always round out the one-on-one with anything around lessons or feedback from the business, like as in like, hey, we've had this issue on this other job and here are the lessons we learned from it. Or you might talk about something to do with values or whatever, like you're tying all that bit of framework in.
Yeah.
But you're leaving with the vision every time. Hey, just a reminder, we're heading there and this is the part you're playing. This is how important it is to me. So it's the visionary piece. You're leaving them on a high that, okay, this is worth it because it's happening. Yeah. It's exciting. So that's the monthly one-on-one structure, which is completely different to getting a coffee and go, hey mate, how you going?
Yeah, shit talk.
Which is what a lot of people do, right? Yeah. Very surface level. So, and what our structure always was that every single person in the business, doesn't matter what role you are, got that one-on-one. Every person.
Yeah, so you mentioned in the course layers, right? So obviously the people, because if you've got 50 people, the MD isn't going to jump down and have enough time to allocate to have a one-on-one. So how does that look?
Golden rule of thumb is no more than 8 one-on-ones. That was the limit I found.
Yep.
Because you think about 8 one-on-ones, that's 8 hours. So that's a day a month.
Yeah.
Right? You got to prepare, you got to close out. Like there's a bit to it. So no more than 8. You can do it in a hierarchical manner if it works, but in our world where there's usually like quite a lot of people on site that aren't hierarchical, there's a lot all in the same role. Yep. You've just got to figure out who is their best home. And what we're trying to do through the one-on-one system is that everyone has a home, right? So like you're always connected, you're always sharing, everyone always feels like they've got a part to play in the business.
Yeah.
Right. So that's you just got to create a structure and then roll it out. And the beautiful thing about a one-on-one system is like it becomes this delivery system for things. Like what we would do is we'd like drop things in the top of the one-on-one system and it would just like fly all the way through the system and back up again. It was crazy. Yeah. And that was our model for delivering news, was that we would actually drop it into the one-on-one system. So like me to the team leaders.
Yeah.
Team leaders would then have their one-on-ones with their guys would then have their one-on-ones with their guys and so on and so forth. That piece of information is getting passed down. So it might be like a change in the business or whatever. Yeah. That's been passed all the way through. A week later, I'd then send like an email out going, hey, as everyone now knows, this is what's happening. This is it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it's been delivered word of mouth from their leader.
From the people that
before
they
it
trust
even
too,
gets-
that they've built a
100%.
rapport with.
They can ask questions, all that sort of stuff.
I
So
think
that's-
that was the key, was when you mentioned about everyone having, like the site guys, if they come in and have a one-on-one with me and they're on edge because we don't know each other, they've seen me once in 6 months, whereas if they're talking about it with their supervisor, they see him every day, they've got that rapport.
100%.
I think that's
They're not going to
crucial.
give you that feedback.
Yeah, communication too. Like you mentioned, getting WhatsApps or whatever it is, and it's key, man. When the people in our business don't have an understanding of where the business is going, problems happen.
Yeah,
all of your KPIs, doesn't matter how good you think you are, they will rapidly come crashing down because people just don't know where the fuck they're supposed to be doing.
They're disconnected and they don't know. Yeah, they don't have a purpose.
Mate, I reckon we could probably talk for about 6,000 hours. So it might be the start of something that we do quite consistently. But man, for anyone that is thinking about it, enrolling in the course or looking for something, it's hard to cut through the weeds. You get sucked in all the bullshit. But having the experience that I have, and it's probably biased a little bit because it was such a good experience for me, and it's obviously changed fundamentally how I'm thinking about business and gave me the things that I was skeptical of, I wasn't sure that the course could give me. And I think speaking off air and the changes that you've got and that community type, man, I really feel like it's beneficial to so many people, that not just in construction. Mate, how do they find you? How do they get amongst it?
Obviously, I'm on socials. I've got my website, Strategy and Scale. Look me up. There's a application button you can press, inquiry, straight in.
Sick.
I'm currely got a wait list for the launch of the February
Popular
program.
Man.
Yeah, which is really exciting.
Do I get a referral code or what, bro? Like, does someone ring up and say, hey, Barry 10, and they get to the top of the line? Or
Totally. You know, and I spend a lot of time like making sure that the right people are coming. You know, I don't want a community of people that it doesn't suit. So, you know, I'll be honest with people if I can't help them. But
I think that's important too, is like, it's an important thing to understand, is there has to be a certain level of commit. Like we saw, if you're not there for the right reasons and that pre-qualification side, like you've got to be hungry because it's work. It's not easy. Like
it's not consistency. You just got to keep turning up.
It's not hard either, but it's just, you've got to be prepared to be honest with yourself and go, okay, that's actually what I want and I fucking paid for it. I'm not going to waste my money. So
so it'll launch in February. I'm building out that wait list at the moment. Got some really good business owners on there already, which is awesome. So if people want to get involved, jump in.
Happy days. Hopefully we see a bit more of your mug on the socials, mate, getting in front of the camera. Hopefully we can blaze the trail for you.
You know what's interesting, like, and this is the importance of 5-year vision, right? So for me, self-promotion, I hate it. I'm not used to it. Socials, it's not my bag. But my 5-year vision is to be the most trusted strategy and leadership coach in the construction industry in Australia. Right? That's my 5-year vision.
Sick.
If I want that to happen, I got to get out there.
Got to build trust.
Right? So when those days come, when those days come that I don't want to be on socials or don't want to promote myself, I was going to lean into that 5-year vision. That's 100%. How it works.
100%.
Pushing,
stretching. It's all growth. If you've got the butterflies in the stomach, you're in the place you need to be.
100%.
Mate, you're a fucking legend. You're a wizard. I can't wait to share numerous more conversations with you, dude. And thanks for coming in.
Thanks, mate. Pleasure, Baz.
Thanks, bro.